Hi and welcome back. Hope you had a great week. We had some rain this last night, and I was going to do a garden cleanup because I only have my days off from work to be able to get anything done. I work full time, so that's out right now. But it is gotten really close to where I need to do a foraging video because the dandelions are out, the henbit is out, all of the weeds that are beneficial for your health in the springtime are out. So let's go ahead and work on some freezer clean out. This is going to be yet another sausage video. Sorry about this. I've got ground chicken, I've got ground beef, pork fat, and ground deer that needs to come out of the freezer. I'm going to go ahead and make two types. Regular, farmer sausage with the deer and the beef. But I'm also going to go ahead and make a chicken sausage that's going to be a little bit sweeter and a little bit heartier. I'm going to add the sweet potato leaves to that sausage to make it more of a full dinner type sausage than breakfast sausage that chicken is usually known for. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is break out your handy dandy KitchenAid with the handy dandy attachment. You can still do this without this equipment. All you need is a food processor with a blade and just chop everything up. This is a little bit more precise, so it'll make things a little bit more finer and won't make such a lumpy type of sausage. We're going to take our bacon ends, we're going to take our bacon fat, and our ground deer and hamburger. We're going to pass it through a medium grind, put it in a bowl, then we're going to switch it out to a fine grind. That way the meat comes out a little bit smoother. Get our mammoth bowl out, and let's get to it. All right, so these are our bacon ends. I'm going to actually use this and the chicken to make the chicken sausage. That way we have the hickory smoke along with the chicken, because chicken's so bland and so dry, it needs more fat. Now, not everyone may see it this way, but this is my food prep. If you can make your food in chunks at a time, I'm going to make all this and then put it in the freezer. And then we're going to eat it in a natural progression. This way I know what's in my food. I don't have any added sugars, nitrates. There's just salt, pepper, a few spices. That's it. That's all that's going to be in here. Now, besides the fact that bacon ends in with the chicken, that may have some nitrates in it, that is going to be eaten sparingly. But the other hamburger and deer combination that I'm going to do is going to be an everyday sausage. Okay, for the chicken, we're going to add our salt. For this amount, there is about a half a pound of bacon ends to 1 pound of chicken. And we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt. Not too much because the bacon already has salt in it. And then we're also going to add some ginger and some mace. Mace is what makes things tastes a little bit better, but not much. Okay, so a half a teaspoon of ginger, a quarter teaspoon of mace, and then you have your onion and garlic. If you want to add pepper to this, you can. Pepper with chicken is a personal choice. I don't really like pepper too much, so I'm going to go ahead and omit that. Okay, here we have our ginger, half a teaspoon. We have our ground mace, quarter of a teaspoon. Ground mace has a nutmeg type of taste to it. But for this, we're going to make it sweet, so I'm also going to add fennel and nutmeg. So for this much, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of fennel seed. You can add ground fennel if you wish, just half a teaspoon. And a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. This will make it more of a sweeter sausage. Now every sausage has a binder. You want to make sure that you add that binder. Some people say that powdered milk will work. I don't feel that powdered milk is much of a binder. It doesn't hold a lot of the fat that needs to stay in, especially with a lean meat like this. So we're going to use xanthan gum. Xanthan gum is a great zero carb type of thickener. It's not like cornstarch or flour. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. This stuff does stretch. And whenever you cook the sausage, that xanthan gum will expand and combine all the meat and keep a lot of the moisture from the fat into the xanthan gum, because it'll hold it better, it will absorb it better. And don't forget your salt. I'm using my smoked salt. And for this is 1 teaspoon. Ideally, you want this to sit in the fridge overnight to have all the seasonings absorb itself. Anytime you make sausage, you want to have at least a 24-hour resting period. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time this weekend, so we're going to go ahead and put these in casings and then let them sit overnight. Now, here are the sweet potato leaves. We're going to add this too, because we want it all ground up. And if you do forage, dandelion works well with this too. We want this all mixed up, and then we'll run it through the meat grinder one more time. And you're going to go ahead and put everything in your bowl, clean everything up so we can go ahead and get to the beef and deer. But this is done. See how everything is integrated? Okay, all your spices, salts, even the sweet potato. And if you feel it, it feels kind of like a paste. That's what we want. Okay, kind of like a meat paste, because it'll fit better in the sausage casing like this. You can do the sheep's or the hog's casings, and you won't have lumps. Okay, now that we have the chicken resting, you kind of still want to let it rest, even if you don't have any type of time to do anything. You still want to put it in a bowl, cover it up, put it in the fridge for about an hour. You still want to get this a little bit firm. Now that we have the chicken done and resting in a bowl, let's go ahead and get the beef and deer combination mixed together. And I'm going to put in different spices with that one. We're going to go ahead and cut up our pork fat. Now, some of this is in bigger chunks than the grinder can take. So we're going to cut them up in strips. And then feed them through. And then we're going to add the deer and beef, ground beef. Add our spices, just like we did with the chicken. If you want to, you can also add things like your sweet potato leaves, spinach. If you want to add fresh herbs to this, you can. Basil would go well with this. Sage. Let's see. Pretty much any type of leaf that you want. Collards, kale, if you like kale. I don't like kale. You can even add blueberries if you want to make a blueberry type of sausage. They're out there. Take a look. Now there's two options to your fat. So let's go ahead and chew the fat for a little bit. Animal fat is good for you. It's just right up there with butter and ghee, olive oil, coconut oil. It is the most easiest digestible oils for humans. Things like canola oil, vegetable oil are the worst things for you. They're highly carcinogenic. Now, the term for what carcinogenic means is that it has been so highly processed that if you eat enough of it, you could actually get cancer. Liver cancer, intestinal cancer, colon cancer. It has proven that we cannot digest this stuff. Caustic means that it is poisonous. So you want healthy fats. Healthy meats, healthy fats. Now you can raise your own chickens, pigs, cows. The best source of meat and fats that you can get out there is actually wild caught. Fish, game like wild turkeys, wild boars. So the reason why I have a whole freezer full of wild boar is because it is the best thing around here. I'm running out of deer. I am almost out of deer. I think I have one more roast left. But it's not deer season anymore. And, you know, we did try to go hunting this year. It didn't happen. But we still have a source of hog. And if you think about it, where does butter come from? Butter comes from cows. Cows are animals. Basically, milk is cow breast milk. and it is the best source of fat for their offspring. Just like human milk is best for humans. But we can't exactly market breast milk. Not for, you know, normal human consumption anyway. That would be kind of awkward in today's society for that to happen. But the best, what happens is that you have the milk and then you have the cream. You skim off the cream and you can make butter off of that. It has all of the animal proteins in butter, in ghee, and in the milk itself. So you want the butter and the ghee and the milk is better digested. Now, cow's milk is not the best for humans. They've actually did a study a while ago that goat's milk is actually the best for you. It has a smaller molecule to where we can actually, humans can digest it in a better way. Don't know about the taste. Never had goat's milk. Never had goat butter. I've had goat cheese. I've had sheep cheese. It does have a tang to it, so I don't know. I've never had fresh goat's milk before. And I know that there's goat farms around here. I just never have asked for milk. Maybe I should, research that a little bit more. Okay, now we're changing everything to the smallest hole cutter that we have to smooth this out. Okay, again, we're going to go ahead and put in our spices. Since this is about 3 times as much that we have for the chicken, we're going to use different spices because beef and deer have a different profile than the chicken. And a little bit more than the chicken because there's more. Like for this, we're going to add a whole teaspoon of salt instead of a half a teaspoon. Actually, we're going to use 1.5 teaspoons for this. One tablespoon of garlic powder. 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Now for this, I am going to add 1/2 teaspoon of mace. Only because I feel that mace gives it a unique flavor profile. We're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of marjoram. And 1 whole teaspoon of sage. Now for this, I am going to go ahead and put in 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. and 1 tablespoon of the xanthan gum. And that is our bind. Give it a good mix, and then we're going to go ahead and run this through again. Okay, and now that is our beef and deer grind. Let's get everything cleaned up, and then we'll go ahead and stuff the sausage. Now what I have here is I have the wide hole tube. There's a smaller tube in circumference for sheep skin casings, but I am using hog casings, which is a thicker, more of a bratwurst type of sausage. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to get everything wet, including the tube, because water is the lubricant. We tried, the first time we tried making sausage, it was hilarious. We tried vegetable oil, we tried everything, and then all of a sudden, you know, my mom goes, we just used water. Tried it, and it worked. Go figure. All else fails, ask mom. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and take the end and wrap it around. This is not a clean process because you're going to be using a lot of water and dripping, so make sure you have a tray or something underneath here because it's going to get messy. Once you have the casing on the tube, you want to tie the end. Okay, you're still going to get a little bit of air out of this, so go ahead and punch a tiny little hole. And I mean tiny. And then we're going to go ahead and stuff the sausage. See what I mean about air? There we go. And once the meat starts coming out, you want to kind of support it a little bit. And then you want to gently pull. Okay, now that we have the chicken and sweet potato leaves stuffed, we're going to put this in the refrigerator to mingle overnight, and then we'll go ahead and cook some of this and show you what it's like in the morning. And then let's go ahead and get the rest of it done. The deer and beef sausage. All right, so after processing, we have the chicken with the sweet potato leaf, 2 bags of the beef with deer, and then I have enough of the beef and deer left over to where I can actually make this a crumble or make them into meatballs for meatball sausages. Okay, we'll go ahead and let everything mingle in the refrigerator, and we'll be back in the morning. And good morning. Okay, so now that everything has chilled for about overnight, 8 hours or so, we're gonna go ahead and make one of these coils that we made yesterday and put it in the oven. I find that that is the best way to make these type of sausages. I'm going to break them into 3 parts here. Then in order for you to make the actual links, you twist. Okay, one is going to be going one way, and then you have the other going the other way. See, I'm twisting it towards me, and then this one is twisted against me, making 3 servings. You want them about hand serving, hand length, because that's about an ounce, and that is a serving. I'm putting it on a cast iron skillet. Going to put a little bit of oil on here to help it not stick so much. And then we're going to put it in the oven for 350 until done, about 30 minutes. Because these are not frozen. They're cold, but they're not frozen. And that's how I cook sausage. You can do it in a pan, but because of the thickness of it, in order to be able to get it done all the way in a better manner, I recommend the oven. You can cook the little sausages, the ones for the sheep intestines. They're kind of like more of the small breakfast sausages that you get from like Jimmy Dean or whatnot. But always check your ingredients if you're buying those. Now for the extra sausage that we had with the beef and deer, I'm making this more of a crumble. So you pan fry this. Okay, just take a serving, put it in the pan, fry it up. You can add eggs to it. And that's what I'm going to do. It's kind of like a sausage egg scramble. You can also add things like onions, tomatoes, spices, anything that you wish. You can even add the sweet potato greens, which I'm going to go ahead and do with this scramble. Okay, go ahead and break this up. It's just like, frying up hamburger. It's not that complicated. But if you've just starting out learning how to cook, this is basically how you brown up a hamburger. Alright, so while we are frying this up, let's go ahead and talk a little bit. Alright, now there are rumors that TikTok is going to be banned in the United States. This doesn't affect me. I tried putting my videos on TikTok. I was able to get 1 on my account. But the rest of them, whenever I tried to put, with my music, it would say, no, you can't do that. The music is not allowed. Even though it's allowed on all the other platforms. Go figure. So I only have 1 video on there. I've never been monetized. I've been doing this for over a year. And it's not about the subscriptions. It's not about the money. I am here to teach. If you've never pressure canned before, take a look at the first video that I made. I explain the equipment. I explain the safety. I explain everything. The recipe just comes naturally after that. It's all about the equipment, the safety, and the how-to. You can can anything. Yeah, literally anything. You can put money in there and it'll can. It's literally anything. I do this. There are a lot of people out there that are lost. I do this because your grandmother's not around anymore. Your mother's not around anymore. Your parents never had the knowledge to do this, but you want to learn. There are people out there my age, younger and older, who are having health issues and they don't know why. Okay, I have studied for multiple years for the type of diet that I'm doing. A lot of it was trial and error. The gluten-free, I have been since I was 38 years old. If we do the math, that was 15 years ago. And the consequences that came with the gluten-free lifestyle, because most of the things that I bought were over the counter. Tons of rice, because the rice is the main staple on a gluten-free diet. We are overloading ourselves with the rice and the carbs. If you take a look at the traditional Japanese and Chinese diets, they only have maybe a cup of rice a day, or per meal, or something. We are eating that in droves. Okay, if you take a piece of bread that is gluten-free and break it up into its key components, you're eating about a cup of rice in one piece of bread, and it's all powdered. So, and if you have a sandwich, that is 2 cups of rice for lunch. So you are actually eating more starches than you should be. There seems to be a resurgence in food preservation, food preparedness, not necessarily hoarding. I don't hoard food because we eat the food that we can and preserve. More along the lines of rotate the food. And that's what you should be doing. You prepare during the growing season to be able to can your fruits and vegetables, anything that you grow, anything that you can find on sale. And then here's the sweet potatoes. And then during hunting season, you do the same things with meat. You preserve it. You make ham. You make prosciutto. You salt it, cure it, sausage it. Throughout the entire year, there are seasons. There's growing season, there's hunting season, and then there's gathering season. We're coming up to gathering season here pretty soon, and as soon as the weather cooperates, we're going to go ahead and do a foraging video. Alright, now that we have this pretty much fried up, we're going to add our sweet potatoes. We're using the greens. Kind of frying that up in with everything. And then we're going to let the water from the greens kind of evaporate out. Then we'll add our egg. If you want, you can still add salt and pepper, but the sausage has enough salt and pepper in for me, so I don't need to add anything to this. Like I said, you can add onion, you can add, spinach, you can add garlic, you can add tomatoes, anything you want with this. This is more of a scramble than anything else. And this will probably be about 3 carbs because of the greens. So about a half a cup of the homemade sausage, 2 eggs. Don't forget to add the yolks, because the yolks have the necessary fats in them that you're going to need in the morning. And then a little bit of greens for nutrition. Because the way of eating diet, you do need to add some supplements, especially because whenever you are on this, you're going to lose electrolytes. You want to up your potassium, you want to up your magnesium, and your sodium. You should be eating about 2 tablespoons of salt a day, you should be eating 2 teaspoons of salt a day. About 1,000 milligrams of magnesium. And about 5,000 milligrams of potassium. You can find 1,000 milligrams of potassium tablets on Amazon. I'll see what I can do about linking the supplement below. I am not sponsored. I am not sponsored by anybody. Not at this time anyway. There we go. This is fully integrated, fully cooked. You can add cheese on here too if you wish. Or maybe some salsa. Salsa would work with this too. Ow. And grandma tip. If you have a cast iron skillet and everything sticks like this, okay, as soon as you turn off the heat to this and take your food out, put some water on the bottom of this. This will actually soften up all that stickiness on the bottom. See how that's just now coming up? And it'll be much easier to clean. You can do this with any pan, not just cast iron. That way you're not soaking things overnight, and you're not using multiple scrubbing pads to try to get the food off of the bottom. See? So let's clean all this up and wait for the sausage to come out of the oven. Okay, now that they're out of the oven, if you want to, you can put them back on a burner to brown the outsides, but be careful because this is really, really hot. And at this time, you probably could separate these. And it smells just like bacon. Ah, it opened. That is not cool. You're going to have blowouts like this. Try to get it to where this other one doesn't open up just like that one. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this off. Not everything is going to go your way. You try though. Okay, we've gone ahead and added a little color to this. You want to make sure you get all sides, and that one busted open. So picture-wise, let's go ahead and take that one off. All right, so here we have our scramble. Here's some homemade salsa. I'm using the red on this one. And a little bit of cheese. And for this, because we have 2 blowouts, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of our homemade ketchup on top of this. And for the chaffle, I found a vendor who makes mayhaw jelly. Apparently mayhaw is a fruit in the South that grows. And this person is the only person that I noticed that actually makes this. It kind of tastes like honey mixed a little bit with apricot. It's actually really nice. Now if you're wondering if I'm going to eat the jelly and all this, this is for Grandpa. And this one's mine. Okay, so thank you for coming and helping me with my food prep for breakfasts. All this is going to be breakfasts for the next couple of months. I might do some sausage for lunches or whatnot, but it's all about the food prepping because of the fact that we cannot eat normal store-bought food. Making it is going to be your best friend. This is the scramble. You can always just make a scramble. You don't have to put it in casings. You can make these into meatballs. You can make these into patties. It's your preference. You know, I just keep it in a Ziploc bag in the refrigerator and take a handful out in the morning and make a scramble. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time.